Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to keep talking about fiddle leaf figs, and more specifically I'm going to answer the question, why is my fiddle leaf fig dying? So once again, this is all based off my personal experience, but what I've kind of done is I've identified 3 things to look out for or consider if it's dying. So you're like, okay, my plant is dying. This is kind of the 3-point checklist that I walk through to figure out why it's dying and how to bring it back. So the first thing I'll do is I will think to myself, like, how often am I watering it? Is the soil really wet? If I check the bottom, is it super waterlogged? If I'm watering this once a week and I'm only watering it like a cup once a week, what could be happening is you're stressing the plant from inconsistent watering. So 1 cup of water is only going to water, it's like right there. So all this might be dry over time or become too wet, so the watering is a little bit inconsistent, so it'll stress the plant and it'll cause it to drop its leaves, or you'll see like a browning around the edge or start dying. So think about how often you're watering it. If you do want a recommendation, I have a YouTube video about my watering cycle, and it tends to water everything and let it dry and then water it again. It's a good cycle. So think about your watering cycle. If you're watering it a lot and you could be over watering it. So watering cycle is the first thing to look at. Check for if it's dry on the top and wet on the bottom, or if it's wet on the top and super dry on the bottom. Number 2 to look for is, did you recently replant it, or is the soil a little compact? So with fiddle leaf figs, the soil is actually really important. They need quick draining soil. If you were to pot this in all potting mix and you were to grow it inside, there'd be too much moisture in the soil. What you have to do is you actually need to mix in some amendments to get it really aerated so the water runs through. So if you know that you've recently repotted it, or that this was pot in complete regular potting soil, you're going to need to want to repot it. That could be causing it to die because it's holding too much moisture on the root and it's causing root rot. I also have a YouTube video about the soil mixture I use, and it makes it drain really fast. So number 1, think about watering. If you're watering it too much, it could be causing it to drop its leaves because it's overwatered, or if you're watering it not enough or inconsistent, it could have like an inconsistent moisture level in the pot. I have a YouTube video about watering. You can check it in one of the playlists. Number 2 is the soil. So if you've recently repotted it and you put it all in regular soil, that's probably going to be too dense for an indoor plant. So you're going to want to create a new soil mixture. And I also have a YouTube video in the playlist if you want a tutorial about that as well. The third thing to look for, and this is kind of the trickiest, especially growing indoors, is you might just not be getting enough light on the plant. So if you can see, this is outdoors. This is about how much light a fiddle leaf fig needs to really grow well. So if you have like a dark corner of your house and it's kind of shady, like I'm trying to like kind of dark like that. I don't know if you can see the difference. Dark like that and then light like this. You're gonna need to want it to be bright. The rule is, like, you need to be able to comfortably be able to read a book around the plant. So if you can read a book comfortably and your eyes aren't straining, that's probably the minimum amount of light that a fiddle leaf fig would need. So that's a good rule, just for whenever you're growing houseplants. If you can read a book and not strain your eyes, that's the minimum amount of light that it'll need. And if it doesn't get enough light, it'll drop its leaves and it'll look like it's dying. So those are the 3 things to look for. Think about watering. Consider your watering schedule. You're probably overwatering it, or watering it too sporadically where it's stressing it. The soil isn't draining fast enough and it's not a good soil mix. And also the lighting is not that great. So if you have any questions about how to get a good watering schedule, make a good soil mix, and also what lighting looks like, I have those tutorials in my Fiddle Leaf Fig playlist.